Our Father's peace to everyone who catches this message. It's time for a party. Today's party is called Quotable Quotes. Give me a moment, I'm loading up TikTok, and then we'll get into this. Fall back. Peace to you. Shalom Barak. You know something? I posted a short video and I put at Quebec to make sure that you could see it on YouTube because I wanted to go and find out who you were. So I looked up the name. Now, there we go. I had an exuberant vibe going when I woke up today. And this isn't the first time. For the last 2 or 3 days, it's been that way. Oh, it's okay, even if you're sleepy, because you know the rules. We're going to be rocking and rolling. We're rocking and rolling before the electric guitar. We were rocking and rolling before that boat that no one wants to mention. We were rocking and rolling on boats even before that boat because we were traveling, visiting, and casting nets. We are live on YouTube and TikTok right now, going through the recording process. We do gather every day, except for Shabbat, and we discuss entrepreneurship and service in your community. It's at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern every day. And today, in the Origins series, we're going to talk about Consulting Edge. How was Consulting Edge developed and what is it? Right? Because I know that I've been speaking your ears off about music. Well, that's not the only thing that I know. I know a lot about finances, not just from taking classes, I see TikTok wanting to try to stall out. I see you over here. I see you trying to stall out on me. We're not doing that. Barbie doll. Shalom Barak. Thank you for joining in. So yeah, we're gonna give it a moment. Let a few more people come in. Ha. Okay. Well, you may not have heard the music that was going on in the background because it was kind of low. Um, a brother of mine from a few years back, he has, I would call it a band, even though it's just two people. It's him and his friend, another brother of mine. Um, and he started a band, and it's called Richmond Bread Riot. There was a time in past U.S. history where people actually did have a riot because they could not afford the bread. And yeah, there was a big problem about it. You know, it's not just something that we heard about in Russia in the 80s. And it's a problem that we are starting to face today. Brother David, Shalom Barak. Let's go ahead and do it. Solidarity. Yahava is love. Ahava. Love is love. So I was playing that track because he's one of the people that did ask me, can you help me get out there? I was like, yeah. Lo and behold, I ended up leaving out of town in the midst of working on his project. It doesn't mean that I was alone. I actually set up a whole album, and it was dedicated to some of the efforts he already had because he has his own work. And most of the time, if I do work with somebody, I will do certain projects on my side that will reflect what the artist does because I'm not trying to take their work. I will promote their work, you know. And that was one of those instances. He was sending me some information about the Richmond Bread Riot, and it happened to be around my birthday. And so he sent the information. He had done some keyboard music and all of that, and so I went back and kind of remixed it. And at the end of it, in his voice message, it says "Happy Birthday." My born day is coming up in a couple of weeks. It's not something that I just jump up about and have a big party or anything like that. We have parties every day, okay? And I don't know if you've ever read Alice in Wonderland, but there's something called Merry Unbirthdays. So you got 364 Merry Unbirthdays all year. I'm celebrating with you all, right? So today we're going to talk about consulting edge. What's consulting edge? I can't get up and talk to you about insurance anymore because I'm not a card carrying licensed agent. I still have an agent number. And if I wanted to activate that certification, I could. However, no, that's not my pursuit. I became an insurance agent directly after attaining an associate's degree in business administration. Mm. With chosen line, Shalom Aparak, familiar name and face. User 232-938-39774. Shalom Aparak. I went into insurance because someone asked me to help them get their office started. And it also meant that I would have to go and take the classes so that I could become a licensed insurance agent. And so, yeah, I told them, yeah, I would definitely be willing to take that path because there's some information that I need. You know, most of us are in the dark about how insurance actually works. You know, our first thought is, do we need it? Is it worth it? And wow, it keeps costing more. So is it worth it? Right? So I wanted to go in and find out what's behind the scenes. That's my quest in life. Every time somebody has a question of how it works, here I go. Pen and paper, here I go. Let's go find out. How does it work? True Origin, Ministry of Sav, Shalom Aparak. Yahweh Ahava, Yahweh is love. Ahava Ahava, love is love. I see some green hearts because the color green means love. It's the color that surrounds Yahweh's throne. So let's see some green hearts. Let's see some locks because we're locked in on the notion of being of service to Yahweh. Tada. Tada, Minister Yasah. Thank you. So what is consulting edge? And what's that got to do with insurance? I came up with the idea of consulting edge while sitting at the desk conducting business about insurance because at the time I was also in my studies concerning Islam. And there are certain traits and things that you can do and cannot do. There are certain services that you can do and others that you cannot. This is a major concern when you're dealing with things that are of risk. Meaning, me personally, I don't gamble. Not because I don't like it. I don't. It doesn't work for me. Played pity pat and lost $5 worth of pennies. Played blackjack and poker. Just to throw some cards on the table. You're not gonna see me throwing up a deed or my wallet or a shirt. The only time I did that was when I was playing poker with my wife. That's different. Stakes are pretty much what they're gonna be then, you know. So no, I don't play games of risk. And there's an issue in that when you're dealing with insurance, you know, it's not that you're gambling, especially when it's property damage, right? Because there's 4 levels of insurance: property and casualty, life and health, for. Property would be your home or your car or your sports vehicle or whatever. A casualty happens when you have an accident, a tree limb falls on your house or your car. Those aren't necessarily risks, those are natural occurrences. Lawrence Barber, pardon me, Lawrence Barber, Shalom Barak. That's not the risk factor. See, that's property and casualty. Those things will happen, and that's a good way to help you out. If something happens, you can fix the damage. It's Alex. Okay. Shalom Barak. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you for joining in. Then you get into life and health insurance. Those are two different insurances as well. Those are the first four certifications that you can get, and they are all different. You go to one company and all they're going to talk to you about is life. Others, they just want to talk to you about health. You don't necessarily go to Blue Cross Blue Shield to insure your home or your car. Hey y'all. So this person came in on YouTube and asked me, what is you yapping about? Thank you for joining us. Assalamu alaikum. Our Father's peace be to you. You see, where I'm from, I was taught that I'm supposed to return a greeting in the best form possible, no matter how somebody addresses me. You see, where I'm from, I was taught to speak regally for a reason. Where I'm from, when I was 5 years old, they told me that I eat like an aristocrat. Now, last time I checked, those type of individuals do not yap. When they speak, it's because they are telling you a decree. So if you wish to come to me with the language of dogs, because dogs yap, I would tell you to sit and hush, listen, and stay. Because I am talking about being a master at life. Does that answer your question? In life insurance, you have the choice of buying a term policy. I see you over there pausing. TT, it's going to be all right. In life insurance, you have a choice of buying a term policy. 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 25 years, 30 years, however they want to write it up. That term life policy is a burial agreement. That's all it's going to cover. It's not there for your benefactors or anything like that. That's to make sure that your family can put your remains to rest in whatever form or fashion. Term life policy. A universal policy. Now with this one, you can put a face value on it, and once it gathers a certain amount, even within 2 or 3 years of you paying a premium, it leaves a balance in it that you can actually, they would tell you you're borrowing from your account. It's your own equity. They are paying you a percentage back. Same way if you had a bank account. For your cashing account and your savings account, they give you a certain percentage back for however much that you're holding in your account. The same thing happens with a universal policy. Now, if somebody were to come along and they'd ask me, well, you just told me that you can't talk about that kind of stuff because you don't have a license. Well, last time I checked, anybody that actually has some information, you are free to exchange that. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm telling you what any company is going to basically hand to you. They might not explain it. Now, that's the difference between a salesman and an agent. An agent is going to give you the information so you can make your own best informed choice instead of trying to force feed you something. Well, here's a plate of something. never asking you what your tastes and your desires are. Just here's a plate, and it's cheap. Buy it. No, because there's another option, and it's called a whole life policy. You know those insurance policies that you see in the movies where they're waiting on this old person who just had their, they're about to have their 100th birthday. And when they have their 100th birthday, they will be able to release the will. Why? Because that person had a whole life policy. And the thing about a whole life policy, if you live past 99, you get all the money, whatever you've been paying in to get to your premium, or and then to actually move towards covering that that amount that you put on your policy, $250,000. Nobody's really expecting you to pay $250,000 in to cover your insurance. As a matter of fact, they're expecting you to not be there after the age of 65 or 75 or 80. So no, they're not expecting you to pay up to $250,000 for that face amount. Yet you do see it in movies. Oh, grandpa's turning 100. Grandma turning 100. Can't stand her, but I'm about to go and hang out, see if I can get some money. Because it's a real thing. You see, that's how some legacies have been built. Because that old money just kept on being passed down. That's how you get the term hedge funds. Because all they had to do was stay on the perimeter and they will be rebuilt. So yeah, if somebody came to try and check me on it, yes, I do have an actual agent number. And if I needed to, I could pull it up and then put the information in. However, that ain't your business. Why? Because I'd rather talk to you about Takaful. Takaful. I found something that's not talking about a risk because it is a risk to pay in some money, not knowing whether I'm going to make it to the end to reap all of those benefits. It is a risk to put that money down and then something happens and then that insurance company gets wiped out because they're having to pay back all these damages. So, this is why I took some classes to find out, well, what do they do when this company happens to shut down? I've heard about banks getting bailed out. What about insurance companies? What happens to them? Because last time I checked, it's a financial center that will fund the insurance company in order for them to pay you out for a settlement. Well, number one, Judah Stalwart, Shalom Barak. Number one, they do have something in place to where even if that company dissolves, your state will still honor your claim, which is a great thing to know, right? All that to the side. What if you don't depend on your state? Novel idea. What if you don't depend on your state? What if you depend on your family, on your neighbors, close friends, your community? You have a bond with your community. You have a trust with your community. Well, you could have a fraternal order with your community and have a trust. That is an actual financial institution. And by the way, it's not taxed. By the time you get ready to try and pay in to be part of that trust, you've already been taxed on your wages and labor to get that credit. So no, you're not taxed on money that you contribute to a trust fund. You gotta coming in on this side. What does it say? What does it do? Buddha David is busy in the background. Mashallah. Our Father is pleased with your work. Buddha David. You go above and beyond. You're doing a whole lot more than what's going on in that living room in that cellar. I know that much. So let's get back to the topic though. So what's Consulting Edge? I went and did some research, found out what I could do to offer instead of insurance. And then I thought to myself while I was sitting in that office, what can I really offer to the world and how can I get this out there? Because I was already working on my business, which is Highest Heights Studio. I was already taking classes where they told me I needed to write out a 5-year plan. I needed to put down the things that I knew were feasible and not even focus on the things that I couldn't even attain or even start. As a matter of fact, I think that's what the name of the plan was called, the START plan, something to that effect. Black Girl Trio, Shalom Barak. Carolyn Ayers, Shalom Barak. With Highest Heights Studio, I wanted to be a talent scout. Not just dancing, not just singing. People who are sole proprietors, giving a product or a service in their community and trying to be positive. I wanted to find these people. You see, it takes talent to actually provide a service or a product that you know somebody needs. And then you actually go out on a day-to-day basis with your heart in it, trying to offer it to people. See, that takes a talent. It doesn't take so much of a talent to find the latest gimmick or the latest knickknack and try and sell it for a cheaper price. That's not a talent. No, that is being capitalist. And that has nothing to do with being positive in your community. I've got a dozen eggs in my hand. Today's price is a dozen eggs, $7. Got a dozen eggs in my hand over here. It came from the farm. I might pay $12 or I might get them for free. I wouldn't even say for free. Might get them because I exchanged some labor for the day. And the eggs came along with the payout. Okay? No, he didn't give me any money. I got some eggs. I got a bushel of greens. I needed some coveralls and 2 rear tires for a tractor. Now, I could almost buy a motorcycle for the cost of those 2 rear tires on that tractor. So you all don't need to know what kind of labor I did in order for all of that to happen, but there you go. It's called barter and trade, right? You're still doing the exchange. What does all that mean? Well, if you know somebody who actually has a place that is developing poultry, then you go to them instead of going to the local box convenience store, because you don't depend on them either. You depend on your friends and your family and your community. You see where I'm going with this? Yeah, it's a mindset. No, I'm not worried about selling the cheapest trinket. I'm too busy trying to offer quality products and services. What is Consulting Edge? For everybody out there who has a business that they are starting or it's been existing, and you're wondering why people are ignoring you, you're not alone. They're ignoring me too. Here I am. I could tell you all day, hey, this is a great way for everybody to get involved in the community and also grow and prosper. One moment. Someone come get their uncle. My nephew would laugh at you. Now, I don't know what land you come from or what it is that you are about. However, if all you have is snide comments, it lets me know you don't have anything positive to offer. Funny thing is, you can sit over there and throw your snide comments all day. Doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, thank you for your presence being here. For every time that you want to try and alter what's going on and try to throw that negativity, you're just reflecting yourself. That's an issue that you have inside. Are you missing your uncle? Are you missing a loved one? Is there a way that maybe we can help you find some positivity in your life? Maybe it's a wall or maybe it's a bot because you can't spell. You're having trouble spelling, you're having trouble with grammar, you're having trouble being a human being. So maybe you're a bot. Is that what's wrong? Because this party, the invites that were sent out, it was for people who actually wanted to know about entrepreneurship, who wanted to have a service or a product in the community. And then even those that came to YouTube, you see on YouTube, I don't have the title up just yet. So it says Angelic Discipline has started a live. So we have this individual over here at YouTube who has decided that they want to come in and try to talk crazy to Angelic Discipline. Well, kudos to you. No one watching your live. It's great because that means that you're counting yourself as nobody. By the way, we're rocking and rolling. We've been rocking and rolling since before the electric guitar. We've been rocking and rolling since before that ship that people don't want to talk about. You know that boat? Because we were already on boats. We were already on boats visiting, traveling, and casting nets. What's your excuse? You see, while you try to talk bad about what's going on in this live over here, you don't understand. I'm over here in another world. On top of that, I can go across the globe after the fact. So all you're doing is coming in and trying to cast a cloud of doubt. I am covered in clouds right now, all kinds of rain. And you can't steal my sunshine because I know that there's sunshine behind the clouds. That's the only reason I can see them. You're not doing anything except for showing your own lack, you see. So as I was saying, don't feel bad when it seems like nobody is supporting you because there will be negativity. There will be somebody coming along trying to doubt this person over here in this room. Oh, they're having a great time, or so they think. And me, I'm laughing because once again, it's a teaching moment. This is exactly what this discussion is about today. So yeah, you go right ahead, say whatever side remarks you want. And here's another funny thing. You see, when a live is recorded and it's saved and the link goes out, that means that it's there in perpetuity. Not just today, not just right now. So that means that anybody can go back and check at any time and see this information. I'm not doing this just to make sure in a panic that somebody gets to hear me speak. No, this is things that I talk about every day, all day. You're my guest. You're welcome to stay or leave. It doesn't matter to me. All right. Where I'm from, my friends feed the homeless. What about you? Where I'm from, my friends look out for the widows and the orphans. What about you? My friends go and make sure that those who are incarcerated at least have some kind of dignity and respect, and a reminder that they do have other people outside who are waiting for them to come back home and be positive and productive again. Now, what about you? Besides coming around trying to be Heckle and Jekyll, because that's also part of Consulting Edge. You know what I like to do? I like to throw parties. I like to throw parties for hyenas because I'm a lion. Come on in. You might not make it out. And if you do, you probably look a lot different when you get out. So it's up to you if you want to stay at the party. I got all day. I told the people we're going to hang out till about 6 p.m. But yeah, I got all day. You like to throw them. Ha 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 ha. Family, you know you're doing something right. You know you're doing something right when a person comes along and wants to talk about everything under the sun except for what it is that you're on. Whether this person is a child or an adult, they have come into the room with a crystallized pineal gland. As a matter of fact, looks like they are definitely suffering smooth brain syndrome. I might have to go and get the mad trucker to help you out. But since I haven't seen his name pop up yet, I guess it's with me. You got to deal with me. You would have done better with him. Because that is what Consulting Edge is about. Quotable quotes. Things like the elephant in the room. I don't know what you've been up to today. I've had a great day. Because I've already been posting all over the globe. How about you? See, people know my presence. Who are you? Now, if you actually had a talent and some kind of positive aspect about your message, I would be willing to actually promote you. However, you might end up getting demoted around me. You see, with Consulting Edge, there are do-it-yourself artists, musicians, teachers, painters, mechanics. Why would they hang around me? The haters, debaters, the naysayers. Why would they hang around me? I got blueprints, carpenters, and bricklayers. Why would they? Because they ain't got nothing else better to do. They want to come stand around and be that person that just wants to naysay. Because you weren't invited to the party. So now you feel like an outsider. Because that's the funny thing. You're on the outside looking in, trying to talk about how bad the party is. You missing it. Yeah. Why would they hang around me? Crystallized Mind album. 3PROJH, 3P Rouge. Backed up on the instrumental by DJ Microwave 5,000 watts. Blowing up your spot, taking everything you got. Now, what about you? Do you own your masters? Do you own anything, or is there somebody who's a master over you? You see, with Consulting Edge, it's not so much about the music, it's about getting everybody else out there. Somebody out there knows how to manicure a lawn. And I'm not talking about just cutting some grass and trimming some bushes. I'm talking about there's some people out there that can grow herbs and vegetation that we can consume. What is Consulting Edge? Consultation that will put you past the edge. Thank you for the love. Ta-da. Thank you for the love. Excuse me for a second. I'm going to sip on some mango. You all, I've been drinking coffee, and water. Today I got a little bit of mango. As our Kohelet would say, Salah. So you don't know who you're playing with. We can have a conversation all day. You're not bothering me. You're not bothering me at all. So 2015, I'm sitting at a desk, contemplating how am I going to work all this out in my favor and in my family's favor. Because yes, now that I'm qualified and certified to sell insurance and whatnot, I'd rather do this other path. What can I do about that? And then the man comes along and he says, you know what? You've been doing such a great work because it wasn't just a job. This wasn't just toil. No, 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 no. It wasn't my office. However, I was the one that gets to show up, turn the key, turn the sign, and turn the lights on and greet the clients who came in from the book of business. I was the first person that they saw. They walked in, they see me sitting at a desk. They come up, they talk to me. Whatever their problem is, whatever their payment is, whatever their concerns, questions. New person walks in, they want to know about some policies and what can they do. It's the first person they saw. Now, if it got complicated, I'd say, okay, well, we're going to set up an appointment. You can speak with the main agent at a later time. So, yeah, along comes Mr. Man and he says, you know what? I need you to take it up another step. Oh, what's the next step? Securities. Oh, now you went and you took them for a test and you breezed through it. Surprise. And I know you're even taking classes right now and you're crushing all of that. Surprise. We need you to get into securities and investments so that we can play with the big boys. You see, you can do only so much with life insurance before you actually start talking about some real investments in securities and bonds and CDs, mutual funds, retirement plans. Oh, yeah, 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 I don't know all about that kind of stuff. Okay, get into some classes. Now, around that time, a lot was going on in my life. So I got to studying that, and I was also in the midst of a second degree that I wound up not even bothering with. I was working on my bachelor's. You see, I was already a bachelor, though. I'm living the life of a bachelor. And it wasn't so much that I needed that degree. I got the first degree just so I could have something to hang on the wall. Why? Because that degree really didn't have anything to do with what I really wanted to study. That degree that I earned really didn't have anything to do with what I wanted to study. I wanted to study entrepreneurship. I have a degree in entrepreneurship within a business as an administrator. Use your talents inside of a business so that everybody grows. Not quite the route that I wanted to go. So by the time they were telling me, yeah, you can get a bachelor's degree in it too. Yeah, you just told me you're going to sell me some spaghetti with no sauce. Bunch of noodles. Thanks. I can go get some ramen for a lot cheaper. That guy. I'll take that. That guy. Uncle S word. Shalom Barak. I don't know if you're seeing it, but somebody named Unfroy Legend or whoever, they've been running amok in the comment section. So, Shalom Barak, peace and blessings to you. You know, if you're in and you want to listen and even leave some comments about entrepreneurship, service, and products in your community, you are welcome. Bienvenido. If you want to come in and heckle, you're welcome. Just be prepared. You see, I come from a time when there was a man that stood on stage talking about Bebe's kids. You know where Bebe's kids came from? Don't say Bebe. No. Bebe's kids came from actions in Babylon. You didn't know that part. I'm here to tell you. My son's hitting me up. Gotta chop it up with him after this session. Something's going on. Bebe's kids came from Babylon. See, children come from Yasharaya. Kids come from goats. Homologio, people. Same logic. I like that. You're not him. That guy wasn't smart. I like that. Thank you. Tada. Thank you. Shukran. From the bottom of my heart. Shukran. Thank you. We're supposed to be coming up out of Babylon. So we heard a whole bunch of jokes about what Bebe's kids do. We're not supposed to rear up our children to act like Bebe's kids. Because Bebe's kids have no respect for themselves or anyone else. Last time I checked, a group of children who had no respect got checked. It was decided that the parents of those unruly children were going to have to find a way to have some more children because a she-bear came along and ate them. So if you want to go around mocking a messenger, because that's what an angel is. An angel is a messenger. If you want to mock a messenger, be prepared for what can happen. Because it's already written in the scriptures what happens when you do that to a prophet. What's a prophet? A teacher who is teaching the message of the kingdom. What kingdom? The shepherd's kingdom. What's the shepherd's kingdom? Yasharael. What's Yasharael? That's the descendants of Abraham. Well, who is Abraham? He was a descendant of Adam. Well, who is Adam? He was the first regent sent to represent on earth the will of Yahweh Elohim. Oh yeah, we're going to get there. No matter how long it takes, we're going to get there. So what's consulting edge? Don't push me, because I'll take you to the edge. The edge is a giant tortoise coming up out of the ocean and cultures developing on its back. That's the edge. And if you need some consultation on how to remember what you're supposed to do within your culture, I'm here. If you want some consultation on what you're supposed to do to deliver a positive product or service, I'm here. If you want some consultation on having a conversation with somebody, I'm here, because people get too busy trying to debate or argue. That is not a conversation. A conversation is an exchange of information. However, it is not for two people to sit there and try to prove a point. They're not countering each other. They're building. There's a big difference. I'm not trying to disprove a point with someone when I have a conversation. When we converse, we are building towards future goals. When we debate, we are tearing down social bonds because it gives the element of disbelief. If one person is already standing on the ground and they have their standards, and you come along and you try to challenge it and utterly disprove it, that means you're trying to crumble their foundation. That's not conversation, that's war. So you don't know who you're playing with, because I don't play unless I'm playing a guitar. Toca la guitarra. I don't play. I'm not into sports. I don't play games. I don't play. I actively live chess. I'm a king. I have a queen in my life. I walk around with patron saints. I am recognized as a black knight, by the way. What's upon any other person walking around this earth who is being treated like a proletariat? Yeah, I live chess. I don't play games. What's Consulting Edge? Contact me and we can consult with each other on how to get back to the original balance. You see, I'm open for suggestions and comments and questions. I don't have all the answers. You might have some that I need. However, I do have notebooks full of answers, and I'm willing to share them. What's Consulting Edge? Well, Consulting Edge can tell you how to start your business up and actually make it a legitimate thing. Are you ready to go talk to the Better Business Bureau? Let's see what Junior from Bebe's Kids is talking about. Stopping in for a bit to say hello. Oh, this is somebody different. Troy Big P, I remember you. Shalom Al Barak, I remember you. You got that same little orange symbol that's similar to Heckle and Jekyll that was in here earlier. So I apologize from me. Apology from me. I wasn't trying to call you no bad names. You've been here before. Shaba VC, Shalom Al Barak. And yeah, you know what? It is what they call Friday, isn't it? And we're actually in the third section of the day. We're real close to Shabbat. Shabbat Salam. Sahaba, my fellow promise keeper. So you chose the wrong person to try to play with because I'm also an imam. What's an imam? What do they do? You see, if you're the oldest person who happens to live in a household and you happen to know the most verses or surah, the most ayah or surah from the Quran, and you become the imam of that house. I'm an imam. And on what they call Friday is actually Jummah. Now, if you had been around me at midday today, which would be Zuhr, when I would do a midday prayer, see, the Muslims would get together at that time and the Imam would deliver a message for the whole community, the Ummah, to reflect on. Selah, think about it. And then you have 2 times that you're going to pray even while you're in there. Pray by yourself when you get to the mosque or the masjid, the place of study and worship. You pray on your own, and then everybody gets up together and prays with the imam. Why am I telling you all this? Because at midday today, I was in a room surrounded by prayer in the midst of my work and study and worship. So I allowed some other people to give me that message of Jummah in order for me to move forward to where I'm at now. Okay? That's also the reason why I've chosen this hour to speak, because I don't want to disrespect the things that are already put out on the air at midday on Jummah. I allow the other imams to speak. Same thing for Sabbath. You won't see me doing a live on Sabbath because there's already people who are going to step up and speak. You go right ahead. Because once again, every time I open my eyes and I start talking, this is what people get from me. And they'll tell you, nah, he don't talk much, but once you get them going, right? What is that? Meal ticket black? Shalom al Barak to you. Alu Ashina Naomi. Shalom al Barak. I do appreciate when you sent that verse from James 1. Thank you. Thank you. You know, it's always great to have a reminder about why you're supposed to hold your patience, why you're supposed to stay on target. Thank you. So, what is Consulting Edge? We're almost at the hour mark, y'all. I decided not to do the bachelor program. I dropped out. Second time of me dropping out of college. I'm not the college type. Start putting things in my brain that don't fit, I will force them out because I'm already trying to wrinkle my brain instead of ironing it out. Kick out the refuse. There was no eating the meat and kicking out the bones because they were trying to feed me fossils. All right? Didn't need that. I go into learning about securities, and now I'm learning even deeper about why I need to know about taka food. You know why? Because in taka food, I have to put a seal on an agreement. Before I can go anywhere with it, the first thing I have to do is say Basmillah in the name of our Father. By the will of our Father, we're going to do this. I don't have to do that with an insurance company. There's already an extra value to it. Mundus. Judah Stalwart. Shalom Barak. So how can I get out into the community and let them know that they need to invest in each other and we can actually build and grow? Because I'm having to chase people down and get them to stop going to the box store to get everything they want in one place. You ever went to the checkout line? You got 20 items and it says you can only have 12. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody likes going there because all the stuff's there. Then you want to say, oh, well, it costs too much. Where else can I go? Well, you might have to go somewhere else, and it might even cost more. Here's the thing. You ever buy a garment from someone that was actually hand sewn? You ever noticed how long it actually lasts? Quality. One day, Lord willing, I would like to develop a clothesline from muslin material. Is it muslin or mullen? One of them. Something like hemp. You see, something else you don't know about me is I can't wait to go and do a ghost dance. Y'all heard about rain dances. I want to go do a ghost dance. Ahava. Much love, Akati. Much love. Ahava. For those who don't know what a ghost dance is, there was a time that there was a man named Tecumseh. You might call him Crazy Horse. There was a man named Sitting Bull and a couple of others. They all got together and said, you know what? We got some corruption going on in this land where we live, the land that belonged to our fathers and their fathers' fathers. We have some corruption. Some of our own people are deciding to go with the corruption. We need to have a dance. We need to bring back the spirit. We need to bring back our values. Y'all ain't ready for the ghost dance. I'm talking about the outsiders, the ones that are outside the party. They're not ready for that ghost dance. But you know what? I'm something like PlayStation because I'm here because you're not ready. I don't care if you're ready. I want a ghost dance. I'm not waiting on you to approve. I don't wait for anybody if you didn't know that. Esperar. To wait. What am I waiting for? I'm not gonna sit and wait. I'm gonna go and do. The only thing I'm waiting for is the harvest. And by the way, I am harvesting right now. Most people look at spring as a time to actually plant seeds. No, I'm harvesting seeds that have already been planted. That's why I'm telling you about Consulting Edge, because that happened in 2015. Consulting Edge happened in 2015. Yeah, I know it's jumping on you. That's 11 years ago. You know what I've done in 11 years? Because that is the next question for the room. What's your 10-year plan, and what was your prior 10-year plan? Because that's where I'm at. What is Consulting Edge? You see, I don't have to have a button-up shirt. I got one. You like my button-up shirt? Yeah, I got one. I don't have to have a button-up shirt to talk to you about finances and being professional. I don't have to cut my locks to tell you how to be professional. They were calling me Mr. Professional before I was out of the second grade because of how I was trained. I was trained to be aristocracy. I was trained to be a regent. I was trained to be an ambassador. And I stepped into that office from day one. There's a lot of things people have tried to pull me away to go and do. And sometimes I go along just to see what they're talking about. However, I have to remind them, you know what? I'm strong. I'm intelligent, willing to toil right along with you. However, there's another way we can do this that might take a little bit less time because I have some other stuff over here that I need to do. So let's do this in a quick, efficient manner so I can get back to what I was doing. Trust me, there's been a lot of people in my life that have heard that. Trust me. What is Consulting Edge? Consulting Edge is 49 years of experience on this planet, dealing with society in all kinds of crazy ways and means, in a male Blackfoot Sioux body. That's what Consulting Edge is. All right, another salam moment. I'm gonna sip on some mango. I had to come up with Consulting Edge for people to understand that there is a difference between what I do with music and what I do with my legacy. Music is part of my legacy. My legacy involves the stock program. My legacy is looking out for sustenance, textiles, occupations, and purpose. I can only do so many songs and rhyme about it. However, we need an operation that's doing it. Hold on, TikTok, they're giving me the wheel. See if they want me to line up some kind of jigsaw or whatever the case may be. See some hearts in the room. I've seen Akati Deborah throwing them up. I've seen Minister Yas throwing them up there. Let's keep them going. Do apologize for the stall out, but I want to make sure that everybody gets what it is that I'm saying. Rocking and rolling. Let's see here, live will end. They've detected inactivity. Really? I could have sworn we've been talking for about an hour and I'm moving around because I stopped just a second ago to get some mango. So let's see what they're talking about. Yep, here we go. Picture pages. Come on. So you got, it's taking them a while to generate what they want to do on the screen. What is Consulting Edge? Consulting Edge is, let's take a field trip to the library. Why? Because we want to look up gross national product. We can Google that. No, I don't want to talk to Google. I didn't find out about gross national product from Google. I went to the library. Okay, you're telling me to drag a puzzle piece over, and there's no puzzle piece. There's no nothing. You're trying to play with my emotions. So, we put the game on pause for a moment while they decide what they want to do. Yep. Family, they do have me frozen up over there. We know all about it. It's not the first rodeo, and this is the same reason why we're doing all of this. Let's see if it'll act right real quick. So what we're going to do is, oh, there we go. Screen's back on. Family, can you all see me? Is there any activity over there? I might have to close it out and start it again. Gonna see what they decide they want to do. Let me see something here. Yep. Yeah, that screen is frozen. So we're gonna jump out and jump back in. What is Consulting Edge? Clean out your cache. That's what Consulting Edge is. We eat your cookies and clean out your cache. And Friday's cool. I call it Jimmer though. And thank you. Now there's a funny little anecdote on that as well. Even though I was speaking on Juma, there's a completely different calendar that I use. I don't even know if Juma is part of the days of the week. Something else to learn, by the way. The word week is not the word that we're supposed to be using. Week comes from wake, W-E-I-K. Just a little side note for you, something to ponder about. We're pausing in the game just for a minute, getting YouTube pulled back up. I mean, not YouTube, but TikTok. Pause for the cause. Waiting to get back in. Put some sounds on for a second. Here we go. Go live. Resume live. Still waiting. Come on, TikTok, get some act right. There we go. Screen. We have a screen. Can we get some real activity with this screen? That looks weird. Are we back yet? Are we back? Not quite. Loading. This platform is loading. Identify each one like saying glasses. Welcome back, TikTok. I'm gonna try to move in on my left, but why would they hang around me? The haters, the baiters, the naysayers. Why would they hang around me? I got blueprints, carpenters, and bricklayers. The haters, the baiters, the naysayers. Why would they hang around me? I got blueprints, carpenters, and bricklayers. All right. Thank you all for still hanging out in TT land. We will be rocking and rolling Excuse me. Because we were rocking and rolling before the electronic guitar. We were rocking and rolling before that boat that no one wants to talk about, because we were already on boats, traveling, visiting, and casting nets. We were rocking and rolling. And that's the name of this particular pursuit. You see, we are live on YouTube and TikTok simultaneously. If one stops, the other one is going. And I thank you all for hanging out, waiting for it to reboot. YouTube, but it's still there. Hey, YouTube, you back. Signal's having a great old time today, because I'm letting you all know the difference between Web 2 and Web 3. I'm letting you all know the difference between going and asking for some toil compared to showing up and doing your work. Oh, yeah, the signal's going to act a fool when I start telling you about how we could be in Web 3 and not have such a problem. Your screen is buffering. You wouldn't have that problem when you are broadcasting from a secured encrypted line. And I'm talking beyond WhatsApp. I'm talking beyond Zoom. What is Consultant Edge? Your doorway into the crypto world. Because what else comes with that? A crypto coin. There'll be people coming along trying to tell you, oh, this is the best coin to invest in. Look at how it's rising in the market. You want to see something rise in the market? Claim your own coin. Put your name on a coin and then start going out there and telling people to invest in it. I'm only telling you what I'm already doing. The brightest stars. Now that might be someone that I know. Might be the same as Stardust, and if so, it's good to see you. Hey, love. It's about to see you. Buena mirade. Buena mirate. Imagine opening up a profile and you start posting up things, and then they tell you, welcome to the blockchain. You now have a block birth certificate. Your name has now become a coin. There will be people coming along who would like to invest in your work. The more that you are involved with them, the more they will become involved with you. Now, how many times have you gone and knocked on somebody's door and you said, hey, I need you all to help me out with a situation? And they say, yeah. And then you come back tomorrow and you say, okay, well, now I need for you to actually give me some materials. And they say, no. It's very obnoxious. How many times have you given somebody a business card and they said, yeah, I'm going to call you, and you never hear from them? It's very obnoxious. You see, I live by my word. If I'm not interested, I'm going to tell you I'm not interested. As a matter of fact, I'm going to look at the business card and I'm going to say, you know what? I don't even know nobody that would need this here. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to put it in my pocket. I'm not going to put it in the billfold. I'm not going to take it home and put it up on the refrigerator. I'm not going to put it in the utility drawer if I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to give you that pipe dream. Why? Because I've had too many people telling me that what I do is a pipe dream. So no, I'm not going to feed your pipe dream. If it's not something that I need or something that I know some other people who need. What's they got to do with anything? Well, you see, if you want some real investors, you don't just knock on random doors. You go find people who have a like mindset and a common interest. Doesn't have to be a theological interest, although that helps, because then you have merit. Then you have standards. then everybody's going to walk underneath that same logic. We witnessed some major corporations fall apart because they didn't have merit. That's all I'm going to say about that. We've seen how things can crumble. We've seen how kids handle themselves. Let's see what children do when they mature into their walk of life. See, I ain't nobody's kid. I don't play with people's kids. I was trained to be a teacher, so I do teach children. I'm a caretaker of children. I have 2 sons of my own who are grown now. So I've been around this world long enough to actually see 2 young men grow up to where they have to shave and remind their dad sometimes he's a little scruffy. You can count 26 years of experience as a father. Someone came in here trying to joke about somebody need to get their uncle. I've been an uncle for almost 15 years now. And we're not going to talk about all the surrogate uncle and dad or whatever, brother. I'm not going to talk about all that. You see, I've spent my time making sure that things are going right within a household. It didn't matter if I had $1 million in my pocket, because sometimes you need a body there to take care of things. No, I didn't have $20 in my pocket to pay this person to come and fix something, because I went and spent $20 to get the tool and I fixed it myself. You get me? No, I didn't have the $20 in my pocket. So when the man came over to work on my mom's house, I was sitting there talking with the man, and lo and behold, saved $40 through conversation. Selah. What is consulting edge? How about we get away from these sick-minded thoughts and start thinking in our righteous mind instead of a feverish brain, running in a panic, having people trying to tell us to put a limit on what we do and what tools we're supposed to use. Oh, no. I'm going over here and I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to show it to my people, and then we're going to move forward with it. I don't need you telling me how to do it. I already got some blueprints that were sent to me. It was a download Bluetooth straight from the cosmos. I don't need you. Because the last time I even tried to show you some blueprints, you stole them and then tried to turn it into a patent. Get away from me. So yeah, what is Consulting Edge? Your doorway to figure out how to get a copyright without having to pay an arm and a leg. What's Consulting Edge? Man, you talk like you got an attitude. Because I do. I really do. Because I spent a long time in my life trying to show people how to help themselves, only to be ignored or laughed at and told that that's a worthless cause because we can't beat the system. I'm not trying to beat the system. I'm over here working on that system that got kicked to the side that was already here. I don't have to beat the system because I'm not in the system. The only the system I like is a group that was singing music back in the 80s and 90s. Do you hear me? Pay attention. Are you listening? Excuse me for a moment. See, y'all don't understand. They talk about astronauts. I'm always in another world. Because this one I can't quite tolerate. I bring myself presence of mind just long enough to spend time with my loved ones. My mind is always elsewhere. Alcoholic told us you better be able to figure out what's going on in the past, the present, and the future. Tell you what, I'm not omnipotent. I don't know everything. However, I do know how to exist everywhere at every time. I can do the every time part because I can think about the future while I'm presently here and making sure I don't do what I did in the past. Got that. We can ride on out with that one. Put it on cruise control. Let's go. What is Consulting Edge? It's consultation on how to return to origins. Because that's the battle. Not flesh, not blood, not good, not evil. Origins, the beginning. You see, Adam was sent as a regent because, yes, there were some creatures here who were man-like. However, that particular model of man that was needed to lead mankind had to have a couple extra steps put in. The people that Adam came from or was around before he was placed in the garden, they didn't have all of those faculties. They didn't have the responsibilities. So you don't get to hear about this part, but you better believe folks came to visit with Adam, and he had to teach them the things that he learned while walking with Ravak HaKadesh during the cool of the day, because that's what the regent does. He didn't wait until, oh, we got kicked out of Eden. Let me go and tell the people what's going on. No, they were already coming in. That's the other reason why the fall meant so much when he disobeyed, because he was already teaching. They don't tell you the time frame of Adam's creation and Eve's creation and when they got kicked out. They don't tell you all that. Was it a month? Was it 2 years? I tell you what, it was a long span of time because they had some sons after the fact. So they were doing some things. And by the time they went amongst the people, one of their sons had to get sent amongst them because he had murdered his brother. And he had a sign put on his forehead, which was a seal of protection, which meant that the people he went around would have to recognize what that symbol meant for protection, which meant that somebody taught him. Gateways, people, gateways. People run around here arguing about how to pronounce something or call something. I don't hear too many people talking about how we're going to live this walk. We can argue about the translation for an hour and 30 days. That is not going to replace the fact that action needs to be taking place. Each and every person on this earth has an individual talent that needs to be used. It's up to the person if they're going to choose to walk with the kingdom of the shepherds or if they want to go and do something else. Those who say that they want to walk with the kingdom of the shepherds, the first thing you need to do is look within yourself and see how you can actually contribute to the community. This is not about, oh, I have safety and security because I said that I love the Lord. Yeah, the Lord loves you too. And the Lord wants to see you go to work. Not everybody is supposed to be a preacher in a pulpit. Not everybody's supposed to be a deacon or the choir or an usher. Why? Because we're not church, number one. No. This is not, oh, I'm going to say I love the Lord so I can go and join this group over here and I do this function every now and then. No. We want to see the mark of Yahweh in your movements. When you go and hand somebody something and say, I want this to be a part of your life, and they say, yes, I would like to actually compensate you for it, can we see some Yahweh in it? pressed and strained. Told y'all, I'm worse than PlayStation. No, they are not red E. E. You see, my mama taught me some sign language. I could tell y'all a story about how I got one of my names. It's because it was her name first. Because she was teaching some students. I wound up with the initials PP. PP. One day I'll tell you the story. Not right now. Right now we're talking about consulting edge and doorways and activity. Because in my training I was taught it's your thoughts, your words, and your actions that make prayer. They say stay prayed up. That means you think about what you're about to go do, you say it, and then you go do it. In the name of Yahweh Elohim, in the name of Ravak HaKadesh, At Shem Yahashua HaMashiach. You go do it. And then when you get done, you say, thank you for giving me the strength and wherewithal to complete that. I mean, then you pray to start on the next task. Therefore, you will be prayed up because your every movement is a prayer. It's not about getting down on your knees and steepling your hands and saying some eloquent words. That only goes so far. That's the part that only goes up to the roof, to the ceiling. Because that's only going to be even what you can hear. Because that's what you're doing. You're speaking to hear yourself. Yahweh Elohim already knows what you're thinking. It's up to you to go out there and actually do something with it. Sound like you got an attitude. Sound like you in a hurry. I sure am is. There is lots to be done. Because I want you to understand something. When I show up in a room and you hear me say, Shalom Yahasharael, when you hear me say, Hazan Yahasharael, I mean it. I mean rejoice. I mean, let's go look in Revelations and be all about it. Because it says Revel, revel, rejoice. It's time for a party. My favorite is around Revelations 9. We can go all the way through the book if you want to, because I like Revelations 1. Tells you what to not do. Appreciate you so much, Akati. You're one of the few reminders that, yeah, I'm doing something I'm supposed to be doing. When you find that like-minded individual, the same motivation, the same path, the same direction, it means the world. That's family. That's love. Love is an action. And then you are surrounded by people who are on that same action, who are on that same modus operandi. What is Consulting Edge? Consulting Edge is a vehicle that is also an umbrella that is willing to safeguard anyone who is wanting to step into the financial arena. An umbrella that wants to safeguard anyone who wants to step into the financial arena. Because we're looking for a secured signal, an encrypted signal that we can use at all times. And then we go to Web 2 and we cast our nets. Instead of being told we can't fish in the waters. Because I'm tired of it. And oh yeah, I could be broadcasting from a separate line and whatnot, but no, you wouldn't have any access to me. So Consulting Edge has to come to tell you about Web 3. Because all of you can tell me everything there is to know about Web 2. Well, I can tell you a few things too. And I can tell you that there's a whole nother world on the other side of that hill. So when you get tired of hanging out underneath this shady tree and you got some nice little green grass and all of that, you can come along with me and we're going to go up over this hill and see the other side. Because like I've told y'all, I'm a black hawk that's been hanging out with red tails. That means I'm not just standing around on the ground. I was given the gift of sight from flight. I see from afar and above. And I'm thankful for that gift. You can walk with me and talk with me, or you can stall out and be back there behind me. Because there will be no balking with me. You're barely going to get a halting with me. Oh, yeah. Ooh, 20 more minutes. They say time flies when you're having fun. You don't get weary in your work when you love what you're doing. Who's with me? Quotable quotes. You know why today started out so great? I can't tell you. I know that I opened my eyes and I had the most wonderful, euphoric feeling when I opened my eyes today. I'm sitting there with a smile on my face saying I come from our Father and I return to our Father. May our Father be pleased when I return. Big old smile. Now, I've told you all, I'm angry. And yes, I'm angry. You've seen it. In the last hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, you've seen it. Oh, yes, I'm angry. However, in the last 3 days, I've awakened with a euphoric feeling. Immediately returning to consciousness, opening my eyes, and just feeling great. I like that. I love it. How does the song go? I want some more of it. And it led me on to joining into the groups and listening to the discussions while I was handling some of my business and saw a few things that I needed to respond to with some of these weird content that people want to post up. By the way, minister yourself. Posted something. I was talking about, oh, they're planning a rally, but nobody said anything about they were the people who were putting the rally together. And so they said, we're planning a rally, but don't nobody go to the rally and stay home. Hashtag stay home. You're supposed to have been staying home since 2018 and they ain't never lifted it saying you can leave. When they told me hashtag stay home, I stayed home and tried to figure out how to work from home. Let me run that back for y'all. When they told me to stay home, I stayed home and tried to figure out how to work from home. Grace Freeman. Shalom Barak. What is Consulting Edge? Consulting Edge is your base and foundation on how you can learn how to work from home, and we can start building this kingdom that is thy will for this kingdom to come. That's what Consulting Edge is. It's a big old banner saying we are open and we need everybody here because there is a market. It's a 1,000 thing market. If you had 100 people who brought 10 items apiece, you would have 1,000 things in a market. I've been to a very large flea market that took up the parking lot of 3 or 4 drive-in theaters in this one big space. And there was nothing but a bunch of merchants there. However, there was basically 6 different things that you could actually buy at this market for all of the different tents and everything. There was only 6 different things that you could buy. We can do better than that. For everything that is needed in life, you see, somewhere in those scriptures that are our guiding light in life, it tells you what the 12 members of the family of Yasharel, what their responsibilities were. You see, there's a reason why there's a wall put up with gates. And it's not to keep us in. We can go and come as we please. It's a matter of safety for those outsiders who do not accept our way of life. Because the thing is, yes, we do get to inherit the earth, but the first thing we have to do is establish what we are, who we are, and what we contribute. Can't feed your baby if all you're doing is sitting around singing about praises, unless you found a way to get paid for singing. Not knocking it, I'm just letting you know. All right? If you happen to know this person over here who can be a plumber, we need to be making sure we support this plumber, whether he's singing hymns while he's fixing your leaky faucet or not. He might happen to know some scripture, and that's his bylaws in order for him to keep what he's supposed to be doing with his moral value and compass. That's the person we need. And while I'm saying he, it could be a she. That individual could be he or she, don't matter. Plumber, painter, electrician, nutritionist, a person who actually does set up a eating schedule, provide a few recipes. You see, we have people within the group who can make ready-made meals. We have people in the group who can give you medicinal tinctures. So we can have all the regimens set up. Now, that's not something that should be kept amongst 10 or 20 people because, yeah, that's a kingdom, but the call is supposed to go across the whole planet. And so I'm not saying this one person over here who can provide for 20 people to all of a sudden try to provide for 2 million. No, I'm saying we need to connect up with the other people who are also doing that. That all needs to be a network. What's separating us from that? See, all of that needs to be built. We all need to be communicating like that. We can have this room over here and that room over there and this circle over here and this circle over there. If nobody is connected, then it's going to keep on being diaspora. A bunch of unconnected people who have similar traits and culture, but don't even talk to each other. Fish don't do that. Birds don't do that. I don't know of any animals. Plants don't do that. So why are we trying to exist without interdependence? I'm mad and frustrated every day because my people suffer for lack of knowledge. I wake up every day happy because no, I'm not immediately expecting the social media platforms to feed me what's going on in the world and what I should be paying attention to and not paying attention to, and what's the news and what's gonna be erupting downtown today. Those things put a cloud on you. I don't wake up like that. I wake up giving thanks, and then I go and look for a way to serve my mission. And most of the time, it's having to go back and douse out one of them fires. So, guess what I did today? I went and I made this picture. There's an elephant standing on a coffee table. Elephant in the room. And then the elephant looking down at a chicken sitting on a nest because the chickens came home to roost. What if I had a microphone and dropped it right now? Because, they used to call me Malcolm. There were people that called me Chicago Red. No, I'm not that man. He lived. And he's a great example. But no, I'm not that man. However, we needed to bring back that kind of thought process for what's going on out here right now. Doesn't move me. These folks all in a panic and a frenzy because they made a very unintelligent decision and put their faith behind something that did not create this world, nor will it be the actual thing that ends this world. Because if you haven't heard anything from Bob Marley, there's one thing you need to hear. Do not fear man. None of them can stop the time. Woo! Yay. All right. Let's see if I can find another song for us, because it's 1:50 in the capital city. So we got about 10 minutes, and I've been talking you all ear off. If you don't understand what Consulting Edge is by now, I welcome you to contact me, and we can converse further about it. As a matter of fact, if you have some ideas and you'd like to tell me some things that you'd like to get going, by all means, contact me. Phew. Now, how can you do that? There's Gmail. There's direct messages. There's comments in the section. You can always hit me up. You can go to my website. You can go and check the profile information on TikTok. And I believe there's some profile information on YouTube as well. I'll wind up sharing out the links. So on Facebook. Also, by the way, you will have noticed that I've been sharing links out from a site called Focus. I have my own personal coin on a site called The Social World. In turn, it has another app that's called Diamond App. I can post from there and make any of my posts into an NFT. An NFT is not just a picture, it's not just a sound, the same stuff that you post on Twitter or even on Facebook. When you type up what you're feeling for the day, or when you put up a picture of whatever you ate, or if you put up a picture of the threads that you just picked up from Bruder Charlie, all Juno-ish, when you pick up those threads from Minister Stephen, no strings attached. When you pick up those threads from Bruder Jermaine with the alphabet all across it, or shall I say Aleph Bet, when you are picking those things up, that's solidarity in the community. When you contact Mother Mavis about some cookies, when you contact Minister Anais about your spiritual pursuits and your need of prayer, when you contact Honorable Amma for your need of tinctures and medication, healing agents, when you contact Kahalet for leadership in spirituality, that's solidarity. That's working within the kingdom. That's something that they can't direct you to do. You won't find that. Something that you have to wake up and make the choice to do. I pray for the day when we do have our own network and we are broadcasting out. Naya channel. Shalom to you. Shalom out Barak. You caught us as we were going out. We meet up 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and we talk about entrepreneurship. Yeah, I remember the name, Naya. I'm wondering if you have something to do with Nigeria or Nepal or anything like that. Um, yeah, we're closing out, and we meet up regularly to talk about entrepreneurship and service in your community. Today was a focus on the origins of Consulting Edge. Tomorrow we won't be meeting up because it's the Sabbath. Oh, you do? Okay, okay. So, but Niall is not like Nigel or something like that, is it? I'm just messing with you. I'm not poking a pride or nothing like that. I will make a little note to try and look you up. All right, Troy. You have a great day. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Glad you came to hang out. Look for you next time. So yeah, tomorrow won't be live. Sunday, I'm gonna open up the floor for questions and answers. You can write whatever you want in the comments and stuff like that. We still will be trying to attempt the uh, live side on TikTok because people can join. You saw the Minecraft movie today. I haven't watched it and I don't know if I will. Not quite a fan of that game. Wait, Niall, are you the same one that was playing the? Are you the one that's got the gaming channel? I saw someone who. No, it wasn't Minecraft they were playing though. They were playing Fortnite. Might not have been you, Niall. I think it was somebody else. House of something or something. But anyway, yeah. Now I don't know if I'm gonna watch the Minecraft movie. Yeah, okay. I didn't think that was you. There's been a few people that have come in back and forth, and some of them have been nice enough to speak with me. So I'm trying to keep up with everyone. And once again, yeah, thank you for coming back in and coming around. You know, it's been a minute since I've watched any current movies. I won't lie. I've seen Deadpool and Wolverine. Uh, I don't just jump out and watch all of them. You know, there are some where it's like, yeah, got some time. Ha, right on, right on. You know, if I got some time, I'll sit down for a minute and watch something. But actually, during my waking moments from basically 7 a.m. to about 12 a.m. or 1 a.m., I'm so busy just churning out stuff. I might take a brain break here and there. Like, I'll take a brain break after this session's over, you know. But no, it doesn't mean I'll be watching a movie or anything. Just not doing anything. Trying not to think about anything, you know. But so much with that. Mm, this brain does not operate that way. I'll wind up thinking about something. Because, like I said, I actually did post a picture. It was a meme, but it's actually a meme that's coming from a video. I'm about to post a short video. Inshallah, it'll come up real soon. Lord willing, Adon willing. And like I said, there's an elephant standing on a coffee table looking down at a chicken who's sitting on a nest. And it's part of a series. The first series is just an elephant standing on a coffee table, 4 pictures. And then there's another series where it's the elephant standing on the coffee table with the chicken in the nest. And then the next series is an elephant standing, it's supposed to be an elephant standing in a chicken coop. They didn't do that though. It's an elephant standing in like a wood frame thing, like a barn or something, and it's got some chickens around it, right? Today's party is called Quotable Quotes. I was trained to be an ambassador by a lady who emulated Dr. Angela Davis. And she didn't know it, but she was basically training and raising someone who emulates El Malik Haj El Shabazz, or actually Malik El Haj Shabazz. Now, I won't call myself that man. However, I did take part of his name, and it was because people were calling me that. I didn't wake up one day and said, yeah, call me that. No, people call me Malik. And so to get the frame of reference correct, I am Maliki. There's a slight difference. I'm not running around here telling you I'm a king or the kingdom. Maliki actually has a few tasks. You might know a few of them from a guy named Melchizedek. But meanwhile, let me see if I can find some music that we're going to close out on. Thank you all for being here today and every time. Thank you all for being on the quest to walk the divine path. Thank you all for showing your support, no matter how it comes in. Thank you all. Much love to you all. Let's see here. Movie Man or Numbered Skulls. We'll go with Numbered Skulls and ride out with Movie Man. I mean, we got what? Well, we're at the 2 hour mark, yo. And we're gonna ride out 10 minutes anyway. Everybody wants to hang out. I got two more songs for you from the Crystallized Mind album. Anybody else that wants to peace out, I'm not mad at you. Much love to you. Yahava Ahava, Ahava Ahava. Everyone have a great day. And please let it be known. I love you. I'm willing to look out for anything that you need and jump up and do it if it's anything that I'm capable to do. I love you. Alida Hughes. Shalom Abarat. It's great to see you. Foundation for my children. Pretty pity, I say. Two tones with Davy Jones. Little Daddy's beat in a mountain. Background story to that song. That's my son's beat. So yeah, there's a joke in there. Stole your daddy's beat and I wrecked it. and wakes.
Gather around and hear the story of my struggle. When I choose to diffuse my recitals,
The population doubles. It's time to build and heal. We don't need no more trouble.
rain getting cloudy, we stumbling
Through mud puddles
perennial conflicts.
and pure breeds like Harry Potter's, warthogs, and muggles.
Let's rope around our necks,
Going willy nilly.
brothers arguing over
Semantics in New York instead of showing love in Philly.
maintaining
In my struggles
breaking bread
with my brothers, proving my body is lifting weights. Never misassembling bodies in wakes. In the 90s, I stopped listening to R&B. Mary J. Blige and Method Man gave the electricity for my first seed to be conceived.
well, songs always in my ear. Always in my side, on the side tree. It's you heard them all. Let them fall on the ground.
Air to breathe,
So this is the time.
hunger to rise.
Search for trustworthy members on my team. Not
Words
focused
to
on
be an American.
but I
Definitely
definitely
plan on realizing the family's dream.
maintain
Maintaining in my struggles
breaking bread
with my brothers. Moving my body is lifting weights.
my verbals and
Never misassembling bodies in wakes.
flowers and drying up. Chocolate spouting
So
so
hot outside
keeping me cool and still sweating, making moves
to
to
win, but for me to lose. They
still betting. Cash rules all around me.
and these fools still checking,
Taking all that is mine. Not
waiting
waiting
for the
for the
limit.
blessings. Spitting jewels from my every breath. While the ignorant
Ignore valuable lessons.
I unleash my mental synapses as registered.
Lethal weapons.
Maintaining my struggle.
Breaking bread with my brothers. Moving my body is lifting weights. Never misassembling bodies in wakes. I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. For every time you come in, thank you. And once again, you are always welcome to leave any kind of comments. Let me know what's on your mind. Even some kind of suggestion of what you like for me to speak on. I am open. All right. Especially on Sunday. Sunday's coming up. And all the questions you want to throw at me, let's get it. All right. And so, meanwhile, everybody have a great evening. Enjoy yourself. Sun will be down pretty soon. So, Shabbat Shalom. Barak to everyone. And until next time, be much love and respect. I hope you have a great evening. Assalamu alaikum. My father's peace to all of you. You too, Troy. You too. Mm-hmm. Making salah. I like that. Oh, I'll go ahead and close out with this, by the way. Inshallah. Ya Allah. Yubarik alima wa sakhaba. Alhamdulillah. Shukranallah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ameen. In the name of our Father, may the community, the family, and the promise keepers be blessed and healed and safe. All thanks to our Father, all praises to our source of sustenance and mercy. Ameen.